on? What's good in the hood? Can you hear this better than you did last night? Can you hear this better? new, I'm trying a new thing here. Maybe a better way of, it feels the same. It feels the same as last time. And you can see my face now. Maybe I'll bring this a little higher. Maybe I'll bring this a little higher and I'll bring it back down when it's time for piano. So hopefully you can hear me a little better tonight than last night. Last night I played piano. It was kind of just last minute practice, and it was very loud. As I was listening to it later, it was just so loud that you can't hear anything. So I was actually really surprised and heartwarmed that you all gave me such good support last night and were like so into it, because I listened to it afterwards and I couldn't hear anything. It was just so loud. This shirt, it's the Padres. Okay, so the reason why I'm playing piano, and I've been doing this, I was doing it last night and I'm doing it tonight, is because I'm just blowing off steam. I'm just blowing off some steam. It's been a crazy week, a crazy past couple of weeks, and so much stress, and I feel like something like this can really take you to a different state of mind. It's so good. I definitely recommend it if you have any sort of skill that you were thinking about. You wanted to read more, you wanted to learn a musical instrument, you wanted to learn how to draw or something random like that. I would totally recommend it, because just one thing that you work on like every day maybe. And Chino says, I bought a Yamaha P45 2 weeks ago. I used to play guitar. I really want to learn piano. Any advice on getting started? So the thing with learning piano is that, honestly, I think it's like the best instrument to start with, because everything else just builds on piano, like keys, piano notes. So I would recommend actually starting with like learning notes, just like your ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, 1, 2, 3, half note, quarter note, whole note, just the different kinds of notes, like know what treble clef and bass clef is, understand the lingo, the piano lingo, understand what they are, and be able to read sheet music. Learn how to do this. Learn how to read this. And make it your language, because the thing that I've noticed is that once you learn how to play piano manually, it's really hard to go back and try and understand everything. Like, it's really hard to go back and try and get yourself to learn how to learn all the sheet music. You just start playing by hand and by ear, and you just totally miss that stage of learning the language. And it's such a shame, because there are so many talented pianists out there who actually don't know how to read sheet music, and you get stuck when you need help on something, or you need to go back and look and read, which you need to do. You can't, like for me, I haven't played in forever. I can't remember. There's so much that I don't remember. And actually, one of the pieces I want to play for you guys tonight, I can't find the sheet music for, and it's driving me nuts, because if I make a mistake, I can't go back and fix it because I need the sheet music. So I can't imagine what it would be like if you don't have, if you can't understand the language, you would just really be stuck. And I know because, yeah, I was a teacher since I was 13 years old. Up until I moved to DC, I was teaching piano. And the thing that I noticed is like the kids who refused to learn sheet music always had a harder time because they would just like insist, like it was almost like an ego thing. They would just like insist that they can play piano perfectly. I can play perfectly, so I don't need sheet music. Like I can memorize it by heart because I'm so smart, but you can't. And what ends up happening is those people just constantly making mistakes and are never able to fix it. And you can't learn new things. Like, you just really are dependent on somebody else teaching it to you or, like, going on YouTube and finding a tutorial. If you can't read sheet music, you can't, like, you can't go to the music store and buy one of these and, like, learn it yourself. You can't do that. You're totally always going to be dependent on somebody else to teach it to you or, like, try and improvise your own version or something like that. Alright, someone called me. Okay. Jesus says he plays the violin. I honestly wish I could play the violin. I actually played a little bit when I was back at home with my family because my brother plays the violin. And we used to duet a lot together, which was so much fun. I don't have anyone to play with. Like, I haven't played in so long, which is just really bothers me, and I haven't been playing with anybody. But back at home, one of my brothers played the violin, the other one played a drum, and we all would jam together. It was so fun. It was like really good music, and we would play Persian classics. That's my favorite, Persian classics. And actually it's not my, I also like regular classics. So, but that was a lot of fun, and I always wanted to and I always would try it and learn on my brother's piano, on my brother's violin, and I always just wanted to be able to know how to play it. So anyway, yeah, if you are wondering why piano, I just feel stressed out a little bit from politics. I feel like stressed out from DC politics. I'm kind of sick of everybody, and no offense, but okay, you could be offended. I don't mind. But I just feel stressed out because DC politics is so brutal. It's so dry, and it just sucks the life out of you. And there's something about the culture here that they just, like, it's good. It's a culture that focuses very much on the important things in life, activism, being active, being, pushing your message across, being strong in who you are, what you believe, being a partisan, but in a good way, and pushing things to happen in where it matters, trying to influence certain laws and making things happen, business, trying to monetize whatever, really, networking, things like that. Okay, there are great things about being in DC, but there are other things that just totally suck the life out of you, and that is the dryness of this place. First of all, two things. Like, I know there's an underground artists culture, like an underground, and I've been to these underground, like literally underground, because like there's this one that was like in a basement where just, these meetups with like all these different artists, or like this one I went to was like different musicians, like all different kinds of musicians, and they would like meet each other and collaborate and, maybe jam together and stuff like that. That was so nice. So I know that they have these sort of things in DC, but the general culture, like if you are working in politics, the kind of friends you make, they're probably, even if they're great, they're just not in that culture. They're not in the art culture. They're just totally immersed in the politics culture. And and it becomes in a way, like if you are expressive in any way, if you are like dreamy in any way, or open about yourself personally in any way, you're just seen as like weak, and you're seen as crazy. You're seen as mentally unstable, which I literally had people call me that for this reason, for being expressive about my feelings and opinions and whatever. My feelings. There's no feeling here. There's no like, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I am expressing right now. There's none of that, because this place is just so life-sucking that it's just that people don't even remember anymore how to be human. And it's really sad. Okay, so you might say, wow, that's great, facts don't care about your feelings, so, which is it's a great quote. So facts don't care about your feelings, so, feelings just ruin everything. What's the point of feelings? And, you always hear men usually say this, but also women, especially who work in politics, you hear say this. What's the point of feelings? Here's the point of feelings. When you have a community that is just totally based on career goals and like lobbying and political activism and political journalism and trying to get the next scoop, when you have a culture that's totally immersed in that, there is no room for networking just for the sake of making friends. There is no room for real, genuine connections. Every person that you meet is a business opportunity, or a lobbying opportunity, or a potential to get a scoop out of them, to get some secret information that could damage someone's life because you want to catch them, because that's your goal. There's no room for having an honest relationship with someone that is honestly based on just like, hey, I'm human and I get lonely sometimes and I want to share myself with someone sometimes in an emotional way, in a human way, and I want to have a conversation with someone just for the sake of that, just because there's no room for that. And you just have to walk around feeling like every single person that you talk to might have an agenda. And if you don't have an agenda, if your only agenda is, I just want to express myself and have feelings and tell you what I'm feeling as I'm feeling them, if that's what you are seen as mentally unstable. People will call you mentally unstable. And you are just seen as weird and like, what are you doing here? Go back to your hippy dippy, go back to California, your hippy dippy circles where you came from. What are you doing in this town? You know what I'm doing in this town? The same thing that anyone came here to do. But you know what the difference between me and you is? The difference between me and you is that I'm still human and you have turned into a zombie. And that's one thing that I'm not gonna let myself get into, even though I, you know, like, you get into it, you get influenced by your environment, and, you know, it happens to everybody, especially if you do feel lonely and you do want to be part of the crowd and you want to feel part of society and whatever, and so, like, you do become that, but at the same time, like, it's not gonna, it's just gonna, it totally messes with your head. And the other thing in this town is the amount of weight that is played on peer pressure, the amount of weight that is placed on, like, trying to impress other people, and but, like, but basically, like, who you're affiliated with, because networking is such a big deal. Whom you're affiliated with is, like, everything. If you are like, affiliated with the wrong person, if you are seen talking to the wrong person, if you're seen hanging out with someone that maybe was friends with someone who said a racist thing in high school, and then that person got smeared in the media, it's by the way, and it has nothing to do with, like, what that person did. It has to do with what the mainstream society decided about that person. Like, there are plenty of people who have said bad things, have done bad things, have said racist shit. There are plenty of people who have done that. But if the mainstream media has decided that this person, and there are plenty of people who haven't, but they're still considered, like, toxic. If the mainstream media has decided that this person is persona non grata, then you can't associate yourself with that person, because you will get kicked out of parties, you will not be invited to parties, at networking events, you will not be hired for jobs in DC. You will just be socially alienated from everybody. No one wants to have anything to do with you because you were affiliated with this person that the media hates and smeared. Exactly. Gino says you be blacklisted. That's the word, blacklisted. And you might say, okay, who cares what people think? That's true. Who cares about what people think? But it literally affects, like, your entire livelihood. It affects your ability to network. It affects your ability to have a conversation with someone without them running away. It affects your ability to influence people. So, you just have to be, if you don't play that game, if you don't play the reputation game, oh no, I can't have anything to do with this person. I can't have my name in any way near this person because that's toxic for my reputation. People who are obsessed with that, they know the game, but if you don't play that game, you have to not be dependent on that world for your future, if that makes sense. Must have been the rose that says choose your friends wisely. I agree, choose your friends wisely, but at the same time, like, the DC standard for what kind of friend you should surround yourself with is just so warped. It's not surround yourself with good people who are honest. It's surround yourself with people that the mainstream establishment decided are acceptable people. There are a lot of acceptable people that are great for my reputation to hang out with that are just soulless. like have no human inside of them. You can like knock on them and they're just like, and they're not nice, and they're not honest, and they are not expressive in any way of who they are. They're not authentic, but they're totally okay as a person to affiliate yourself with. And then there are people who are very honest, who are very forthcoming, and like trustworthy and interesting, very interesting and fun. And these people get blacklisted because they're not playing the game. They're not zombies, and you can't control these people. They're not playing into this corporate culture. So, yeah, that is what I have to say about DC politics. It can really suck the life out of you. There's so much to be done here. It's really exciting and fun. But it also can suck the life out of you. And that's why sometimes you just gotta let loose a little bit. And play piano. That's what I'm doing. I haven't practiced for a while, but this is my practice. And you all are the best audience ever. Like, the coolest audience. Like, the most chill. And it's just so nice to have that. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, I don't care who you are. I will not talk to you because the media establishment said that I can't. Like, also, like, these people walk around like sheep. Like the leader says, this is how we think, and everyone's like, this is how we think. And they will never actually look into what it is. Like, they'll never actually give you the benefit of the doubt and check, like, oh, like, who's this person that we're smearing and blacklisting from this world? Who's this person? What do they say? Why do they think the way that they think? What's in their heart? No, they don't give a shit. The leader said, this person must not be spoken to. And they're just like, this person must not be spoken to. It's like a hypnotizing. They're not actually gonna check. And you know what, by the way? Like, I'm not perfectly always honest about about every single person I talk to. I literally will talk to anybody. Like, I really don't care. But I'm not always honest about it. And the reason for that is that I'm still a little bit playing into that world. I'm not perfectly outside the peer pressure. I'm going to try no matter as much as I can, but I'm not perfectly out of it. And there are some people that I will not publicly associate with for that reason. And it's something that I just, like, hate about myself, that I haven't gotten over that hump yet. That's my goal, is to just really, really not care. But, yeah. All right, some piano time. I saw that someone requested Rondo alla Turca from Mozart, and I figured I won't give it all tonight. You can't give it all away. So I won't give it all away tonight. I'm just gonna do some, and then I'm just gonna do a few pieces, and then save the rest for later, just to keep you on your toes. Okay. Can you hear this? Can you hear it? Is it good? Good sound? Maybe a little bit louder? Yeah. Next one, Richard Clayderman rendition of Clair de Lune from Beethoven. Someone requested Moonlight Sonata number 3, so I actually don't know how to play that. But I listened to it, really beautiful. So maybe next time. Okay. A little rough around the edges. So that was Clair de Lune, Moonlight Sonata from Beethoven, Richard Clayderman edition. Debussy's Clair de Lune is great also. See, like, I have to relearn everything because I used to learn that. I used to know how to play that one, and it's like, I totally forgot everything. But now a Persian classic because I love Persian classics. And this one also, expect it to be a little rough around the edges, but hopefully not too much. Okay, that's not the end of the piece, but I don't remember it. And I did, because I was looking at the sheet music, but I lost my place, and I can't find it again. So, yep, that's it. Maybe we'll play this one piece. I actually don't have the composer. It's called Two Guitars. And it was arranged by P. Ballatore. But we don't know who the composer is. We don't know who the composer is. So, P. Ballatore. Okay. It. That's it. That's it, I think. Anything else that I see over here? Oh, look. Look what I found. Claire de Lune. And that's my name. But I don't remember it. So, for next time, practice a little bit for next time, and it's all going to be good. Thank you for being the coolest audience on the planet and letting me practice in front of you and not have this perfect product before coming here. Just practicing, and it's great. Bye, Joe. Bye. You don't want me to delete the video? So definitely send me your requests. I might not learn it now, this second, and I might learn it this second, but I'm definitely gonna like have a list because I collect sheet music. In this, there's so many pieces. There's Oh, you know what? I have a great Mozart one for next time. Fantasia in D minor. Fantasy. And yeah, I have like everything in here, but I don't have everything. So some of your suggestions are new. Anything that you suggest, I will put on my list. I have not moved yet, and hopefully when I move, I'm excited to move. Play the ballad from Gangster Paradise Coolio. Okay, the ballad from Gangster Paradise Coolio. I'm gonna look over this and write it down. Living with Hope says, do you only play classical music? I don't only play classical music, but I just like it the most because classical music tends to be a little more organized and like it's more fun. It's more there's more of like a variation. It's not like jazz, which it's not like jazz, which is just all over the place. I can't stand it. It's like it's interesting, and it actually like everything fits. But at the same time, it's not boring. It's like there's so many intricate details that go into classical music, but it also fits. Like people joke about how you can like form mathematical equations based on Mozart or whatever Mozart pieces, but I totally like it's true, because everything just fits perfectly. I mean, Bach is my favorite. Bach pieces. I played one for you guys last night, and it was a disaster. Maybe I'll do it again. It'll be the last one. Oh, David Sides. David Sides is great. David Sides. There was one piece that I copied him. It was like whatever. Okay. Yeah, David Sides is great. David Sides has the best covers. He's got some great covers. Okay. Last one. Okay, Bach, Rondo from Suite Number 2 in B minor. Oh, I wish I knew how to play guitar. I wish I knew how to play. I want to learn like all these instruments. It's too many instruments. Okay. Where was that? All right, here it is. Still could improve, but a little better than last night. And someday, I will be rich enough to afford buying my own real piano. Not digital. Real. Okay. See you all tomorrow night. Maybe we'll talk about politics, but I don't know. Right now, I'm just in this weird phase of like, ooh, I'm so happy because I don't care about politics anymore. Haha. But I still live in DC, but I don't care about politics. But I still am like, moving to a new place that's still here, and I'm still going to live with my friends who care about politics. I actually really love my friends. It's a whole bunch of them. But I also don't care about politics. Woohoo! So send me a request for next time. Send me, if you want me to talk about anything, send it to me also. Send me your suggestions. I want to hear them, and even if I don't respond, I do check my DMs. Yeah. I do check my DMs. Okay. All right. Landscape Guy says, where did I grow up? I grew up in Los Angeles, and I grew up in two communities. One was the very Orthodox, some call ultra-Orthodox Jewish community. It's called the Yeshivish community, which is ultra-Orthodox. It is, even though people don't like to admit it. And the other community I grew up in was a Persian community. There's a big Iranian population in LA, and it is actually pretty cool. There are some things that I really don't like about it, but there are other things that I love. The thing that I love is that Persian parents are Persian parents are very culture and education oriented, and so they will make sure that you have a science degree and whatever, and they will also make sure that you can play a musical instrument. It's very at least among our family friends, my family, our family friends, every single person in my family, my parents, my siblings, and I have a lot of siblings, every single person can play a musical instrument and is pretty good at it. They can carry a nice piece, and they can professionally play a musical instrument. And it's like that for a lot of our family friends, because it's definitely, I really think of our American friends, they weren't like that. A lot of people were like that, but I don't know, maybe I just didn't see it as much. Musical instruments was a big thing in our family circles. And also other, dance lessons and whatever, but musical instruments was a thing. T. Plaron says, the reputation I'm aware of is LA Persians are supposed to be very bling bling Kardashian like. That's actually really true, and that's the thing I don't like about it is there is such a superficial value on just everything has to be brand name. Money is you have to have money. You can't not have money, and you have to live in Beverly Hills. You can't live anywhere else. And not only do you have to live in Beverly Hills, your house has to look like a palace, and it has to have pillars, and it has to have marble everywhere, because otherwise you are just not in the game. You're just not cool, and no one wants to have anything to do with you. If you don't live in Beverly Hills and you don't have pillars in your house, and you don't have marble, and you don't have this mosaic driveway, and you are not driving an Infiniti or a Lexus or BMW or Mercedes, and you are not wearing everything brand name, and you are not like throwing parties all the time for no reason and just wasting time all day throwing these social gathering parties, you're just not a human if you don't do that, and if you don't make that your whole life. Twit Mode Denizen says, can you try to cut back on your use of the word it's really bad. I can't. I have to learn how to control it. Eli S says I should play in concert. I should, right? I just have to practice like an insane amount because right now I haven't. Joe says Lexus is just a fancy Toyota. Same thing under the hood. Yeah, you know what's so funny? So Beverly Hills is last time I checked, Beverly Hills is a third Persian. And I think it's a third, I'm not sure if it's a third just Persian or a third Persian Jewish, but, and they're not really religious, they're like secular, but Beverly Hills is a third Persian. And because so many homes, oh, this is another thing about Persian homes. So Persian home style is like, you have to have this like mosaic thing in your driveway. You have to have pillars. You have to have marble everything. Your house has to be white and look like a palace. And you also have to have large windows and chandeliers. So all the houses kind of have like a certain look. And you can tell when a house is Persian. You can tell immediately. Because like these like American homes are just like, brick house and, like kind of modest looking and normal looking houses. And then suddenly you see this like Persian house, you could tell immediately when a house is Persian. Like right away. No question. And because they try to make it as bling bling as possible. So they actually made like restrictions and rules in Beverly Hills, like architect whatever, I don't know how you call it, like construction rules of like what you're allowed to build and what you can't build. And they've actually made rules like banning certain things because they don't want people, because they're just trying to because Persian style houses are ruining the Beverly Hills look, because Beverly Hills is supposed to be just like normal and houses look normal. It's not supposed to be like every house looks like a Persian house. And so the Persians come in and they just like make every house bling bling and like this certain style. And HOA, Rosemary says HOA. Yeah, HOA. I don't know the name of it, but HOA, building codes. Building codes. So they keep adding these building codes to try and stop the houses from being built looking so Persian, but people just keep finding ways to go around it. My family's house was built before a lot of those rules, so it also looks very Persian. Anyway, so that's the. And here's another thing. Like, just because your house looks really Persian and you drive like a Mercedes and whatever, it doesn't mean that you have money. By the way, and you like live in Beverly Hills, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have like a ton of money. It just means that Persians are so obsessed with like showing off and looking like having to look like bling bling whatever, having to look fancy. I'm not speaking for all Persians. Like if you're Persian and you're like, oh, that's not me, whatever, I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking for this LA stereotype Persian, which is actually very true. And whether or not you are like that the general stereotype is very true, generally, and it is that even if you don't have a lot of money, you are going to try and look as fancy as possible, and you're going to try and pretend like you have money, and you're going to spend like all your money on like some brand name shit just so you can wear it outside. But you will also be living on food stamps, and you will also be like crazy cheap on everything else, and not able to survive in other parts of your life. But you have to have that brand name jacket, and you have to be living in Beverly Hills, and you have to have this like Persian style house and Mercedes. Even though like you're just totally struggling financially in every other part of your life. Anyway, Judeo-Iranian. Oh, yeah. That's someone is asking. All right. So that's it for tonight. More piano later. Send me your requests. Be cool. Food stamps in Beverly Hills. That's a real thing, by the way. I promise you that's a real thing. I'm not making it up. People in Beverly Hills living on food stamps. It's crazy, right? Because they actually don't have money. They spend all their money trying to look rich for other people. It's so absurd. I can't even tell you. Okay. Peace. Good night, y'all.